Welcome back to SoFlo RcLife. This is Justin here with you. Well, we got some new stuff here. That background there, it's probably going to be incorporated in some type of scale garage down the road. I'd like to have my my videos on the workbench a little more appealing. So hopefully we'll get that going soon. In this video, I want to show you guys how to add some pretty good modifications to your rig for very cheap, next to nothing. And if any of you guys have not seen the DIY video of the trailer build, I'll leave that in the description below, so you can check that out later. But yeah, let's go over what I've done to her so far. Alright, so first thing I did was I removed the bumper. The bumper actually held the lights that you see right here. That bumper was just always in the way. And as you can see, my approach angle, my tires do come past the front of the Jeep now, which is fantastic. But by doing so, you lose the lights, which I absolutely love the lights. And now I love them even more in a different location. So what I did was, I don't know if you guys can see there, I just spliced in some extra wire. I hot glued it on the side of the frame there, and just ran it all the way up into the body there. So that was one. Let me turn this off now. This is nothing but a sticker that I cut into a triangle. Got a thin piece of wire and got my flag there. Went right into the bumper there with hot glue on the back side, and I've rolled this thing a dozen times. I think I put a drop of super glue right here. Yeah, I got my little scale gas tank. You can do a scale rope, very easy, cheap, you know. So as far as appearances, I think that's about it. Moving on to the modifications that actually help you crawl. First thing I did was, you always want to try to move these posts as low as you can. Try to get the body sitting as low as you can, right? We all know this. The next thing that I did was we put some little spacers here. These little spacers help stabilize it so it's not as, you see, not as springy. So you can do that. And then the next thing was, let's see here, inside the wheels, we're going to get to the good stuff here in a minute. We got some weights, some lead weights down there. But inside the wheels, you see there's a little washer, and there's on the other side here. So that's a little bit of extra weight there. You do want to stay away from adding a lot of rotational weight. For example, you don't want to line the inside of your tires with a bunch of fishing weights, you know. That will shorten the battery or the motor life. If you're trying to conquer something real quick, you know, I've done it, but for long term, it'll eat up your motors. So that was in those wheels, and then right down in here, there's a real thin strip of lead weight, but it's very little. You know, you want to try to find that happy medium. So that is rotational weight. That's all I'll put on there. There's nothing inside the tires. But then, you know, brass, you guys know this stuff's expensive, right? So that's the only brass that you'll see on my rig right there. The rest is DIY weights. So, and I painted them black already. Here's one right there. That's right on the back side of your diff case. You know, they sell that brass one for like $33. Well, I'll leave a link in the description below. You can get a whole pack of these lead weights for under $10, I think it was. I have them all over my 1/10 scale rig. So I placed one right there. Then I have this big lead strip. I'll show you a little clip of that here in a second. 109 grams. So what I do is I take some snips and cut a few chunks off and try to get some that match up the same weight. So I got 8 grams there, and 8 to 9 grams there. So I take little snips off of those, and I'll strategically try to put them as low as I can, so I'm still getting the clearance when I'm passing something. So I'll show you here. So you don't see it at all right there, right? So it's not going to get hung up on anything. And then in the front, and those were, I believe, 9 grams each on the outside, so that's 18 grams, and then 1/4 ounce in the middle. I'll add up all the weight on here because we have 2 more right up here. So I'll add up all that weight here and we'll get a total weight in grams. After all said and done, we will have an extra 36 grams. You just want to make sure that your tires will clear them, which I'll show you here. So they don't rub at all on both sides. So you can experiment around with that type of stuff, and it's a lot cheaper than buying a bunch of brass and being out, almost as much as your rig cost. So another free modification that you guys can do is right back here, where your battery tray is, it sits up a little bit higher. So I took the battery tray completely out, and I used that same Velcro strap that they give you with the battery tray, and I bring the battery down to the frame, and I strap it right on the frame, and I actually hot glue the strap in place on the frame so it doesn't move around when I'm changing batteries. And then just be careful back here. You want to make sure that you're getting all your clearance. If you watch the shock completely compress there, on both sides, you want to make sure that you're not hitting your battery. This is more or less for the newbies, I guess, but all those little modifications combined, they really help you with what your rig can accomplish. Oh, I hope you enjoyed this one, guys, and until next time, this is Justin with SoFlo RcLife.